weed too. So no for them a say me is a midget. But me fully bad, call me midget so we listen.
Before she'd become one of the most popular and well-respected dancehall artists of her generation, singer and songwriter Shenseea was born Chinsea Lee on October 1st, 1996 in Kingston, Jamaica. As a child, Shenseea was raised in nearby Mandeville. She never knew her father, although she's been told by her mother in the past that he was a Korean gangster who traveled often for work and deserted them both when her mom was 6 months pregnant. Following her birth, Shenseea was brought up by her mother and her aunt, two women who instilled an unwavering sense of self, not to mention a serious case of confidence within her. Growing up in a Christian home, Shenseea would both pray and fast. When she was still just a small child, she used to wake up at 4 a.m. just to get in her prayer and worship before heading off to school. Eventually, Shenseea moved out of her aunt's home and into one with just her mother, but with her mom often working live-in jobs in different towns while also performing as a singer on the side to provide for them, more often than not, Shenseea was on her own. Still, whenever her mom was back home for the weekend, these two would head to church every Sunday, where Shenseea took the first step towards her destiny by performing an a cappella version of Whitney Houston's Greatest Love of All. She nailed the performance her very first time, but she was so shy that she wound up running out of the church crying after she had finished. From that point forward, she would continue developing her voice while listening to American pop, R&B, as well as soul music. During the 8th grade, she began writing her first songs, but she couldn't get past 3 lines. So she switched tactics and began focusing on covers to other artists' music. Considering how spiritual her home was, Shenseea wasn't allowed to listen to dancehall music because her family believed it was too sexual in nature. So this young artist in waiting was completely unaware of the genre that would make her famous until she discovered it on her own. As a teenager, Shenseea would hear dancehall on the buses, taxis, and kids' cell phones while on her way to class at high school. As badly as Shenseea wanted to be a pop star in the vein of American celebrity, she knew that Jamaican audiences would expect something more culturally relevant, so she stuck to rap instead. The problem was her family wasn't quite as sold on this career path, so they drove her to try out different ideas instead. After graduating from high school, Shenseea attended college for a short period of time, but then dropped out to take an office job while continuing to sing on the side. That included during lunch breaks, where she would escape the office while her boss was out enjoying a meal. From there, she began posting her renditions of American and Jamaican artists' songs on her social media pages. 2 years later, Shenseea had her son at only 19 and decided then and there to get serious about music as an actual career. Right around this same period of time, Shenseea was introduced to the biggest entertainment and promotional juggernaut based out of Kingston, Jamaica. His name was Romich Major. She signed his agency and began earning herself promotional opportunities performing at brand events for the likes of Hennessy, Red Stripe, Smirnoff, and more. Well, these events helped showcase her talent, and by 2017 she was collaborating with Vybz Kartel on Ludi as well as Sean Paul on Rolling. With that 1-2 punch, Shenseea cemented her burgeoning reputation within dancehall, a genre that she once described to Billboard as, "You can be raunchy, you can be free, you can be yourself without being judged. We try to spread it across the world everywhere we go because I enjoy the energy." By 2019, Shenseea was signing a deal with Interscope and then set to work on her debut album. Unfortunately, during that period of time, her mother would pass away in June of 2020, which brought some of Shenseea's old ideas back to the surface. As her reputation within the dancehall genre continued to grow, Shenseea never forgot about her original ambitions to perform pop music, and with her first album approaching release, she knew the time was now or never. Stepping back and reassessing her project, Shenseea made sure to inject the album with a healthy dose of pop, like her collaboration alongside Megan Thee Stallion titled Lick. That track and a few more pop-centric masterpieces like Are You That would appear on Alpha when it finally dropped in March of 2022. Bolstered by those hits, Alpha would debut at number 2 on the Billboard Reggae album chart, selling 66,000 units in 2022 alone, making it the second best-selling album from a Jamaican artist to be released that year. Since releasing her debut album over a year ago, Shenseea hasn't stopped dropping new music. She's not only released Bye Bye on her own, she's also appeared alongside Skillibeng on the popular single Rain. Having now finally fully unleashed her passion for pop music, Shenseea is also adamant that the music she creates from here on out will be more likely to appeal to her American audiences. Not only that, she's about to begin shooting music videos for tracks that will appear on her upcoming second studio album as well. As for further international collaborations, Shenseea has teamed up with Kanye West twice, already in 2021 on the tracks Pure Souls and OK OK Part 2.
Oh my God, it would be amazing. I absolutely love Kanye from even before I met him, so I'm not gonna spill too much.
With that being the case, she says she's more than ready to collaborate with Kanye again, even with his litany of scandals over these past few months, simply because she loves working with him. Shenseea also recently saw her names in the headlines for a pretty surprising reason. It turns out that her music helped Prince Harry, yes, that Prince Harry, get through his recent estrangement from his family. He wrote in his memoir, Spare, "In the times I felt alone and separated from my family, I always took time to myself to sit back and listen to Shenseea. Her lyrics resonated with me and got me through a lot." As touched as Shenseea was to learn that about Prince Harry, the fact that she has a bona fide fan in the British royal family isn't going to stop her from eventually hanging up the microphone. Sure, she might only be 26 years old right now, but come next decade, this ride very well might be over. She told Women's Magazine, "By 35, I should be wrapping up my music a little bit and doing some acting. That's why I can't allow anybody to get in the way of my vision, because I'm traveling on time. I'll retire around 40, I wanna relax." How closely will dancehall superstar Shenseea be able to stick to that 10-year plan? We'll just have to wait and see. After all, this has been Before They Were Famous. Thanks so much for watching today's episode, and before you head off, consider answering the following question. Has a major death in your family ever changed the way that you approached your career? Let me know if tragedy has ever impacted your work life like Shenseea's mother's passing did for her in the comments down below. Otherwise, like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications to make sure you never miss a video. My name is Kara the Vampire Slayer, filling in for Michael, and if you enjoyed this bio, then don't go anywhere yet, because coming up is our look into the rise of Charlie on a Friday. I'll see you all next time. Bye!
Before becoming TikTok's newest musical success story, rapper and singer Charlie on a Friday, he was born Charlie Finch on February 21st, 2003 in Seattle, Washington. Now raised in and around numerous neighborhoods throughout the city, the district of Green Lake would eventually come to best represent the place Charlie thinks of as home. No passion for capturing life's little moments would lead Charlie on a Friday to creating his first content at the age of just 7 years old over on YouTube.
Yeah, I used to do like Pokemon card videos, like anything really. It was back when YouTube, you could record the videos on youtube.com. Do you remember that? Yeah. Yeah, that's when I would do it. And yeah, I was really young, just kind of having fun with it, to be honest.
Does the channel still exist? Like, could I find it?
I don't think so. It would be funny.
That would make for some really good Before They Were Famous content. What was the name of the channel?
I think it's just my name, Charlie Finch. Yeah.
Now from there, he developed a love for other forms of entertainment, and particularly music, especially after his mom, she signed him up for piano, vocal, and DJ lessons when he was still just quite young. Now inspired by his hometown hero, Macklemore, Charlie pursued his passion for music with vigor, linking up with his friend Cole's older brother, Ethan, in the 8th grade, and getting invited over to their place to learn the ins and outs of music production with the help of their home studio.
I was in 8th grade, and I was at my friend's house. And his older brother made beats, and he had like a studio in his basement.
After creating his first song, Charlie, he would continue perfecting his craft by experimenting with a new track nearly every single day. In fact, over the next few years, Charlie says that he stockpiled hundreds of songs during daily sessions, which raised his confidence all the more. He explained to Billboard, "Every time I made a song, I felt like I was getting better slowly. That's what really interested me. I wanted to see how far I could take it and how good I could get." Now, eventually, Ethan, he left for college, and Charlie was left to his own devices. Now, this resulted in him taking somewhat of a step back from music for a little while, as he focused on football in high school while trying to figure out where music fit into his ever-evolving teenage life. Football was a big deal for you. Were you watching the Super Bowl? Are you still a big football guy?
Yeah, I love football. I played football since I was like 5. It was a big part of my life. I think it taught me a lot. And yeah, I'll always love football.
He described his thought process at the time to People magazine, where he told them, "I was kind of like, how serious do I want to take music in high school? Are these kids gonna judge me? What are these kids gonna think of the music I'm putting on the internet?" Now, if it hadn't been for the pandemic during his junior year, well, it's possible that Charlie's music career would have stopped right there. But with classes fully online, well, Charlie no longer had to worry as much about what his schoolmates might think about his music. So he started recording with Logic Pro and learned what he could from YouTube tutorials via production. Trading in the sound of trap drums for something a little more melodic, well, Charlie settled on a pop rap hybrid sound and started thinking big picture about what he wanted to accomplish with his life.
You look like you could be an actor, like you could be in the OC or whatever the hell the kids are watching now. Do you hear that a lot?
I don't hear that a lot, but I would love to do something like that.
Now, realizing that the answer to the question was music, well, Charlie began flooding TikTok with snippets of his songs, while advising his audience to live every day like it's Friday, a line that would come to inspire his new stage name. In February of 2021, Charlie on a Friday, he released his first single as an artist with a slow banger titled After Hours. Now, it might have taken a little time for that track to get noticed, but months later, Charlie would catch the attention of multiple management firms as After Hours surged to new levels of virality thanks to live performance clips on TikTok that collected millions of views. Next, Charlie's debut project, the 8-track On a Friday, well, it arrived on April of 2022, and that's when labels started calling, looking to scoop him up. Now, it didn't take him long to settle on the idea of signing with Island Records, stating that he was won over by the label's family-like vibe. He told Billboard, "A lot of the labels I met with, 2 or 3 people, but with Island, I met everybody. I knew that Island would put in a lot of effort. Labels are amazing for dumping gas on a flame." If it's not already clear by now, well, Charlie, he got the kind of personality that people naturally tend to gravitate towards. And it ain't just me, because that's exactly what happened when Lil Keed, he wandered into a recording studio in LA and found Charlie hard at work. When he heard some of what Charlie was cooking at the time, well, he demanded that the two of them get together on a track immediately, and the end result of which is the single Misfit. Now, while that accolade might have boiled down to a little bit of being in the right place at the right time, well, other singles like Colorado Boulder, Cheers, and Dollar Signs, well, they've proven Charlie's success has far more to do with his incredible skill than simply just luck. And now he might very well have created his biggest hit yet. At 20 years old, well, Charlie on a Friday, he might not be the same kid who taught himself how to make music as an adolescent, but that doesn't mean his routine has changed all that much. In fact, he's still sometimes recording music from the comfort of his own bedroom, hoping that his audience will live vicariously through the moments and vibes he manages to capture through the process. Now, there's a popular saying, it goes, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." And I think that applies pretty accurately to Charlie's case, especially after the incredible success he discovered off the back of his hit track, Enough. Now, it might have been a little nerve-wracking at first for Charlie to try and recapture the lightning in a bottle like he did with his first hit, After Hours, but as he and his friends continue to drive engagement on his social media platforms through posting frequent videos of him performing live, well, it was Enough that proved to be just as promising a single as his first, generating over 26 million streams worldwide in just the first 3 months of its release. Now that he's reached an undeniable level of success, well, Charlie focuses on broadening the scope of his audience. To do so, well, he moved from Seattle to Los Angeles, and he dropped a couple new singles, one of which is titled Same Friends and is dedicated to the tight-knit group of day ones Charlie continues to keep around himself at all times. Now, it just goes to show you that the more things change in this crazy world of ours, well, the more they stay the same as well. Now, about a month ago, Charlie also released his newest single, a love ballad by the name of That's What I Get. It's a fairly appropriate title when you think about it. After all, if you were to project Charlie on a Friday's career 3 years into the future, it'll no doubt involve bigger stages, newer songs, and an even larger fan base. But somewhere nearby, his group of friends, his OGs, well, they'll always be there supporting their friend like they always have. At the end of the day, the most important thing to Charlie of all, he explained why to People magazine, where he told them, "I just want to have fun with my friends. All the things on the internet, like TikTok and everything, are just as important, but for me personally, the fun shit is just being on stage and turning up with my friends. It's the little things that make life worth it, and it's refreshing to see that Charlie on a Friday, well, he can recognize that and appreciate not only his journey to hip-hop superstardom, but all the friends who've helped him bring his dream to life along the way. No doubt, it's that same genuine attitude and commitment to loyalty that's made him such a hit with his millions of fans. Now, as for how high Charlie on a Friday's career will ultimately rise, well, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see, because this is before they were famous. And you probably noticed in this video, I actually sat down with him. We did an interview at Universal Music Canada. Great kid, fantastic. I got to work with him. Awesome stuff. Now, before I leave you guys, I have a question for you. Should successful artists feel obliged to bring their friends with them, or does being loyal almost always come at a cost? You know, you could have some jealous friends in your crew who actually sabotage your shit. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, we're trying something new on this channel. We dropped some previously uploaded content to the end of our new uploads. So today I'm gonna have you guys take a look back at one of our older videos of Macklemore. That's right, I don't know when I filmed this, maybe like 2015, or maybe it's an updated Where Are They Now? I'm not sure. You stay tuned and let me know what you think. I'll see you guys in another video.